So I mean, so much of that culture is what fueled like the passion and the phenomenon for that car. And so like the best motoring video with the Mainz R34, like that single piece of media influenced thousands of people in the US now who now own GTRs or whether it's an R35 or Skyline or whatever. But time and time again, it was brought up to me as like, oh, that was the single moment I decided I was going to dedicate my life to owning GTR. And more than like, that's what's so fascinating to me about that car is like the people and the cultural touchstones surrounding it before you even bring in Gran Turismo or the Fast and Furious. Like it just touched people in a way that it just doesn't exist with other cars. Like people are in love with the car because a 911 is a great car or whatever Ferrari you fall in love with is a great car. But it's impactful moments and people that make the Skyline special.
How do you feel about it? Why do you think the GTR has such a cult following here in the US?
Well, for one, it wasn't available here. So
that's key.
The forbidden fruit aspect, I think, is pretty big. And of course, it was a really tasty forbidden fruit. It had a lot of power. It could handle well. And I don't know how many people. I don't know how much this would fit into the equation, but the GTR's history is, it goes far before the R32, right? So, and it's when Nissan and Prince kind of came together. And then and the old ones like the Hakosuka, those GTRs, they were very classic. So in Japan they were considered classics, and to all the American people, those were new, right? And then of course you have the gray market thing and all the stuff that Ryan covered. That just added to the hype, I think. So so I think a little bit of everything.
You were probably the first American journalist that started covering any of these
out of the three books, out of the three big books, Motor Trend,
right.
So I still have like people who go to me, hey, when I read that piece, it was called Distant Thunder, of all the Japanese. They go, that's when my started, my love with Japanese cars started. I go, oh, thank you, They go, and then they remind you, oh, I was like 6 years old. I go, yeah, thanks, man. I was like 30 something by then, but it's whatever.
And you were tight with Toyoda-san from HKS USA here as well.
And Hasegawa-san too. The guy who founded HKS, right?
HKS Hasegawa-san from H.
So, no. So,
how often were you going to Japan at that time?
At that time, not as much as my peak. So probably about 3-4 times a year, because I was going like 5 to 7 times a year for like a long time. That's a lot of trips. So So
that's in the heyday too. That's cool.
That was in the heyday. I
mean, I don't know how aware of it you are, but so many people now pine for those days, like the late 80s, early 90s.
Oh, well, a lot of people tell me that, hey, Sam, because I got out of road and track and started my own business in, I think, 2011, 2012, somewhere around there. And they told me, hey, you got out at the right time. It ain't the same. Those were the days. And I go, yeah, those were the days, man.
Thanks for watching and listening to The Creative Drive, where we offer listeners a candid look into the minds of automotive creators and their journeys. The Creative Drive is available on all podcast platforms, and we have more awesome guests lined up for you guys, so please subscribe so you don't miss any episodes.